Hey, it's the Empire. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon for more videos. We taking over. Let's go, champ. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's go. Hey, it's the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Boxing Boxing. Nah, man. Amir King Kong comes out and says, if I fought everyone Terrence Crawford fought, I'd be undefeated too, man. I'd be undefeated too. And, Terrence Crawford has a pretty good resume, man. He's fought in the best of the best at his weight classes, and, it's pretty impressive. But if you actually look at it, man, would Amir Khan beat everyone Terrence Crawford beat? Now, check it out. Now, Terrence Crawford's first step up was Rikios Gamboa, and Gamboa he's really a smaller fighter moving up, and Amir Khan has never fought below 140. So, Amir Khan would probably beat Gamboa just off size, even though it would have been a really good fight just because Amir Khan and Gamboa are the quickest fighters in boxing, or at least Gamboa used to be. So that would have been a really good fight. I would want to see that fight regardless of who I thought would win that fight, just based off styles, because they have the same style and they both have the same amateur pedigree. So that would have been a really good fight to see, just because, But I still think Amir Khan has a little bit of an edge just because of his height and size advantage. And next is Victor Postal. Victor Postal is a great fighter. I remember when he fought first. When he first fought Lucas Matisse, he made him quit, stopped the guy, and that was a really big deal at the time. Now the thing about Lucas Matisse is he's never really achieved anything at 147, and when Lucas Matisse stepped to 147, he really didn't do much. He got completely dominated by Pacquiao when he fought Pacquiao, and I think that another Argentinian fighter in Marcus Maidana is actually a better fighter than Lucas Matisse. They actually fight each other a lot in amateurs. Marcus Maidana is a bigger fighter. He's a stronger fighter, and I think he's more of a complete fighter than Lucas Matisse. So I think that Amir Khan he beat Marcus Maidana, which is a better fighter than a smaller Lucas Matisse. So I think if he can beat Maidana, he can probably beat Matisse. So that being said, I think that, Victor Postal beating Matisse, it's not a big deal just because he's in a smaller weight class. And I think Khan beating Victor Postal, he's more of a boxer and they're both boxers. So it comes down to who has the better fundamentals and who has more skills outside of just the boxing. And that's Amir Khan. What made Victor Postal so good at 140 is he had a really good height advantage and he worked off his jab. Unfortunately, Amir Khan he's too quick, man. He having a good jab is not enough to beat Amir Khan. I remember when Amir Khan first came to the States, he fought Paulie Malignaggi, and Paulie Malignaggi has an excellent jab. He actually made a career off it, and Amir Khan completely destroyed Paulie Malignaggi. So I think that Amir Khan would beat Victor Postal, another great win in Terrence Crawford resume. Now let's move to 147. Or actually, I guess I can talk about Julius Ndongo. Now Ndongo was really good at the time. He's an incredible fighter. I really don't think he hit his peak. I think that, he probably was rushed to the top. He probably should have had more up-and-coming fighters before he started fighting other champions. But I think that Amir Khan would have destroyed Ndongo. But like I said, I think his training and his trainers, whoever trained him, he hit his peak and then he could have learned more from somebody else. I think the last fight he fought, correct me if I'm wrong, but he took it like in 10 days notice. It was like a lot of like last minute notice with Ndongo, and he happened to win some fights, and then he came up short in others. So he was taking fights out of nowhere and not really having a full training camp. So that was Ndongo's downfall. But I still think Amir Khan would have beaten Ndongo. Ndongo is really unorthodox, and he throws like wide punches, right? I think Amir Khan best punches are in the middle. They're like straight punches. He starts his combinations mostly with jabs and left hooks, which are really quick. So I think he would beat Terrence Crawford, in being Ndongo. I think he would have beat him as well. Now, Terrence Crawford's best win at 147 was the actual title win when he fought Jeff Horn. And I think Jeff Horn would have been an easy fight for Amir Khan as well, man. Jeff Horn's a great fighter, but, he's really, his best punch is his right hand. And he really outperformed himself with Pacquiao. No one expected him to do anything in that fight. The guy is a school teacher. No one showed any respect for him. I still think that Jeff Horn actually beat Pacquiao. You watch the fight, man. He got bullied. Pacquiao was just bullied in the ropes. Jeff Horn did everything he could to win that fight, and I think he won the fight. But I still think Amir Khan is too fast for him. That would have been a really hard fight, though, I think, for Amir Khan, especially Jeff Horn getting in inside. But Pacquiao at the same time wasn't throwing any punches. He was just laying on the ropes. Amir Khan is still quick and he's still young enough to throw combinations. He wouldn't just sit there and let a guy work. He'd move around the ring and use his jab. The thing about Amir Khan that makes him so dangerous is not only does he have quick hands, he actually moves quickly, too. He's not standing still, letting his hands go. Some people, like a Gary Russell Jr., he has really good hands, but his feet doesn't move with his hands. He doesn't move and punch. He just mostly punches. That's why Lomachenko was able to just move out the way when Gary Russell Jr. was throwing combinations. With Amir Khan, he moves and throws punches at the same time. That's what makes him so hard to beat, because he could actually move and punch at the same time. So I think that Jeff Horn wouldn't be able to bully him. So, man, I broke down, basically Terrence Crawford's full, top guys he fought that basically made, Terrence Crawford. And I think that, Amir Khan would probably, he would have beat all of those guys, Toughest fight would be Jeff Horn, but I still think he would have won that fight just based off of, Jeff Horn had one good performance against Pacquiao, and the way he fought Pacquiao, he was never able to, basically show that performance again, that super hyper aggressive style he fought Pacquiao with. Because when he fought Terrence Crawford, it was a whole nother fight. He wasn't so aggressive. He was trying to box. So, really, Jeff Horn's style is a boxing style. So like I said, man, Amir Khan would be undefeated if he fought everyone that Terrence Crawford fought. And I really don't think that if Terrence Crawford fought everyone that Amir Khan fought, I think he would have took some losses, man. Marcus Maidana in his prime, he beat Adrian Broner, and he fought Floyd Mayweather twice, which is something that Floyd Mayweather only had done one time in his career, right? He only fought one other guy 2 times in his career. Maidana is an extreme power puncher, and he's a heavy fighter. He's a 147 fighter, but he walks around huge. Right now he's retired, and they're saying he's above 200 pounds right now. The guy was a big fighter, right? The difference between Terrence Crawford and Amir Khan is this. Terrence Crawford, this 147 division is the highest he ever fought at. Amir Khan's ventured above 147. And, Amir Khan's best opponents are in Terrence Crawford's heaviest weight class. Terrence Crawford's best opponents, some of them are smaller than 147. So, Amir Khan's fighting bigger, stronger, more advanced fighters or at least bigger and stronger fighters than Terrence Crawford ever did. So, I don't know, man. Because Amir Khan's toughest opponents, I mean, would Terrence Crawford beat Canelo Alvarez? I don't think so, man. Terrence Crawford would not beat Canelo Alvarez. That would have been a guaranteed loss. You know what I mean? So Amir Khan is fighting some crazy opponents, man. Opponents he shouldn't have fought. But the fact of the matter is, if they switch resumes and everything was reversed, Terrence Crawford would have losses as well if he took on Amir Khan's resume at the time. Like I said, I think the Marcus Maidana fight would have probably been a loss for Terrence Crawford because Maidana was too big of a fighter. I think that the Canelo Alvarez fight would have been a guaranteed loss. I think that maybe even Devin Alexander, he was a pretty good fighter at one point. When Amir Khan fought him, that would have been a good fight. I mean, Amir Khan has had so many fighters. He fought at 147. He fought Paulie Malignaggi back in the day when he was, good. I mean, Amir Khan's fought so many top fighters. Even Luis Collazo. Luis Collazo almost knocked out Keith Thurman when Keith Thurman was active. You know what I mean? He hit him with a body shot. I mean, these fighters it's just hard to look at them now and say that Terrence Crawford walked through those guys. But you got to understand, 5-6 years ago, those guys were completely different fighters. That's what happens when you fight for long periods of time. But at the time, those fighters were extremely high level fighters. And they weren't as damaged as they are now. So I think that Amir Khan has such a deep resume, man. To go through every single fighter, it would be really hard. It'd be really hard to imagine Terrence Crawford now at least taking 2 or more losses to Amir Khan's deep resume. When you look at Amir Khan's resume, it's like going through an archive of boxing history, because a lot of those people are named or former world champions. And the thing about Terrence Crawford is he's beaten good opponents, current world champions at the time when he beat them. But the thing about the 147 division is most of those fighters are coming up. They're past world champions or current world champions at the time, and it's just so many of them. You know, he probably Amir Khan has so many current or former world champions on his resume. It's ridiculous. You know, so I think that Terrence Crawford would have losses if he tried to take on Amir Khan's resume. Guaranteed loss from Canelo, and like a 60-40 fight in Marcus Medina minimum. You know what I mean? And I can keep going down his resume, but that'd be like a 30-minute video. So I do think that Amir Khan would be undefeated if he took on Terrence Crawford's resume. And I think if it was reversed, Terrence Crawford would not be able to remain undefeated, fighting people like a Canelo Alvarez, who won the 168 title. I mean, that's like what 3-4 weight classes up, because he got 147, 154, 160, 168. That's 3 weight classes up. So that's insane. Canelo Alvarez is a big guy, and I honestly think Canelo can make 175 light heavyweight if he wanted to. The guy Canelo Alvarez knocked the guy out, 168 champion, in 2 rounds. That wasn't even a challenge. So that being said, man, I do think Amir Khan will be undefeated at 147. He's basically saying that Terrence Crawford could be overhyped, and that the level of competition at 140 is different from the competition at 147. It's different. And I think Amir Khan's right, man. But let me know how you guys feel about Amir Khan's statements, man. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Pitch. Geoboxing Empire. Pitch.